What's up, guys? Welcome to Political Fight Club. I'm Robert Durden. In this episode, we're going to be talking about something I feel like I've been talking about a lot lately. Biden and his admin have basically been expanding the surveillance state in every way possible, and it really scares me. I talked recently about the Domestic Patriot Act that they're trying to unroll, and the strategy that they put out recently for the public to read and how Orwellian that was. Well, they're up to worse than that right now. They're literally censoring a whole bunch of websites, journalist websites, under the guise of Iranian misinformation. So they seized and took down a whole bunch of Iranian and a couple of Iraqi websites like Press TV, and I'm going to name a couple other ones here, under the Justice Department basically said they're spreading misinformation about Iran. Now, some of these websites, I don't doubt, probably do some of that stuff, but a lot of them, as they go on to say here, are just like, Palestinian news outlets that don't have any, real affiliation with the misinformation that they are talking about. And I, for one, would like to see some evidence. Like, if you guys are talking about the misinformation that's being spread about Iran on these sites, let's see, bring up the clips, let's explain why those exactly are misinformation, and I want to know, exactly what these websites were taken down for specifically, rather than just, blanket taking down 33 or 36 different websites, more or less arbitrarily, under this very vague guideline of Iranian misinformation. So I'm going to read to you here from Al Jazeera. The U.S. Justice Department seized 33 Iranian government-affiliated media websites, as well as 3 of the Iraqi group Hezbollah, which said it were hosted on U.S.-owned domains in violation of sanctions. The websites were held by the Iranian Islamic Radio and Television Union, which is reportedly run by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Quds Force. Quote, components of the government of Iran, disguised as news organizations or media outlets, targeted the United States with disinformation campaigns and malign influence operations, the Justice Department said in a statement. Yeah. If that were grounds for completely seizing and taking somebody off the internet, we should really take down CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News, because they do that shit regularly. All they are is propaganda outlets, and you don't see them getting taken down off the internet or getting censored. Iran's foreign ministry said on Wednesday called the seizure an example of a systematic effort to distort freedom of speech on a global level and silence independent voices in media. Spokesman Saeed Khatibzadeh said in a statement, the shameful move by Washington shows that the Biden administration is continuing former President Donald Trump's path, and vowed that Iran will pursue the issue through legal channels. So, like I said, there was Press TV was one of them. I'm going to read to you a couple more here. And they basically, if you go to all these websites now, there's this big FBI symbol, and it says that this site has been seized by the U.S. government. Let's see here. Visitors to leading Iranian media sites such as Press TV and Al Alam, the country's main English language and Arabic language broadcasters, as well as the Al Mizara TV channel of Yemen's Houthis, were met with single-page statements on Wednesday declaring the website has been seized by the United States government, accompanied by the seals of the FBI and the U.S. Commerce Department. So this is horrifying. I don't doubt that some of these channels definitely were engaging in misinformation, but a lot of them are not nearly as bad as even the misinformation propaganda outlets that we have in this country that we consider news sources, like CNN, MSNBC, if you're a dumb One American News Network or Fox News, all of those attract the dum-dums like bug lights. But more so dumb One American News Network and Fox. Those are all propaganda outlets that spread misinformation. So all that this really is if you happen to be spreading information that isn't simpatico with the United States imperialist narrative and the narrative that we want, we will just censor you if you happen to have a domain that's on, a United States server. It's pretty scary. I don't doubt that some of these were actually spreading misinformation, but I don't think that's just simply grounds to censor people. There's a lot of misinformation that goes around on every channel on YouTube, no matter what. Everybody's biased in one way or another, even the people that are attempting to be as objective as possible, like myself and like a lot of the people I follow. But I'm not for censorship. If you're not committing assault, direct threats of violence, I'm not for Donald Trump having been censored off of social media. And other than a few things that Alex Jones said, which I would consider assault, I'm not even for him being censored. If he were to actually come back and apologize for those things and said I was full of shit and whatever, I don't think he should have been taken down either. If you want to go after somebody on social media on their ideas and make them a laughingstock, that's one thing. I believe you have the right to your opinions, but you also have the right to be made a laughingstock if you have bad opinions. But beyond that, I'm a free speech absolutist. I'm a Fourth Amendment absolutist. So I'm also not for any type of spying on any populace under the guise of anything, domestic terrorism or Iranian misinformation or whatever. I'm against censorship, and I'm against unreasonable search and seizure, period. So this is scary. This is just another instance where we're seeing Biden slide into authoritarian fascism. All so slowly, maybe a little bit slower than Trump would have, but much more sneakily than Trump would have. So, at least I didn't vote for him. I'd be disgusted with myself at this point. After the 4 years are done, we're going to be so much more surveilled upon by our own government, and we're going to be doing so much more censorship across the globe after Biden. It's going to be crazy. And we all told you so. The burners all tried to warn everybody. So this is not good. I believe even Richie Medhurst was on Press TV, so he went off last night. We need to get these things reinstated, and I want some evidence as to exactly why these sites were taken down specifically. I want to know exactly what the clips were that were misinformation and why. Because I don't think you have the right to censor anybody, but certainly if you're going to take people down off the internet, there has to be some sort of egregious type of content that they're putting out there that would garner like being seized by the government. I want to know what those are, those reasons specifically. So keep fighting the good fight out there, guys. This is not good news. We have to fight the Biden administration at every turn on our First Amendment rights and our Fourth Amendment rights. So otherwise we're going to end up a surveillance state like V for Vendetta and a country that spies on and censors other countries as well. And if you're not for free speech for the people that are across the table from you politically, then you're not for free speech. That's why I'm an absolutist, and I think you should be too. I'll see you guys later.